There's a question I come across a lot online in the electric guitar world when discussing Ibanez, and it's the question of J Customs. What makes a J Custom a J Custom? What is a J Custom in comparison with the other Ibanez lines? Obviously the top of the range Ibanez for us European and American consumers is the Prestige line, containing the JS guitars, the Gem guitars, a multitude of RGs, S-series, the 7-string Universes of course, and they're amazing guitars. They sound great, they feel great, but there's this other mysterious line called J Customs, which many people consider better. They're more expensive, they're harder to get hold of, and I was hoping to shed a bit of light on what they are and the differences as an owner of two. I've got this one here, this Natural Finish RG, and there's this S-series one here, which was a spot production model. Just try and get that in shot there without getting the light too much on it. But they're both amazing guitars, I love them both very much. They play better than any of the other guitars that I own, and also they sound incredible as well. But in all honesty, the sound is less different than the feel. So when I'm comparing these to the Prestige models, oftentimes you won't be able to tell the difference. They often have similar pickups. Usually DiMarzio, this one actually has bare knuckle pickups, so this is the most different sounding guitar of all that I own, which is nice to have. But the main difference is the feel, and that comes from the quality of the finish. So I'll put up some images as I'm talking. But some of the things that are different, for example, are how they finish the frets. The fret ends on the J Customs are like sausages. They have like rounded edges, which makes the neck feel even more frictionless and smooth than the Prestige models. Another thing that they do neck-wise is the finish that they put on the back. They call it Velve Touch Ibanez, and it's almost smooth beyond description. I mean, you know, a baby's backside is like sandpaper compared to this neck. I felt nothing as smooth as this. I don't know what the hell they do to it, but you'll notice that a lot of different Ibanez guitars have got different finishes on the necks. The white Gem, the Gem 7VWH, has got kind of, it feels like more of a varnish on the neck. It's still really smooth, but I'd maybe describe that more as like a satiny varnish kind of a feel. Whereas this one doesn't. It's like silk. It's like completely frictionless. So if you think the Gem has a smooth neck, you ain't seen nothing yet. And of course there's the other style of finishing a neck. For example, on this Universe, which appears to be the least finished, it feels just like the wood. It feels really really natural, which again I really like. My favourite neck finishing types, if I were to rank them, would be this Velve Touch at number 1, number 2 the Universe, more natural bare feel, and thirdly just the kind of more standard varnished but smooth satin feel that you get on Gems and RGs and other series of Ibanez's. So there are a couple of differences neck-wise, and of course there's the vine inlay that, you know, people either love or hate, I suppose. But the J Custom vine inlay is different to the Gem vine inlay, as you'll notice. It seems more embellished, and I think a lot of the squiggly patterns are actually reversed on the J Custom, which is pretty interesting. But the other thing about the J Customs is just the unusual specs. Ibanez put a little bit more effort into making them different each time. So you'll have different pickup combinations, different pickup types, like the bare knuckle run that they did. There were 2 J Customs that had bare knuckle pickups. You know, different wood types. It's got a mahogany body there. I can't actually remember what the wood type on this one is, but the finish on the top is just absolutely phenomenal. I'll put in the description what the wood types are, like I say, because I don't know them off the top of my head. But they're great. The only gripe I have with the J Custom series, I mean, the finishing is insanely good. You know, the neck joints, how everything's put together, the fret finishing. Like I say, the only gripe I have is the bridge choice. For some reason, J Customs nearly never have an edge bridge on, which is my favourite kind of bridge. I go for the low pro edge because it's the next closest stroke best thing, which is on both of these models. But so many of the high-end ones have the Japanese Edge Zero, I say Japanese, obviously they're all Japanese, but the Japanese seem to love the Edge Zero more than anybody else. I don't know that many Western consumers that really like the Edge Zero, and I'm not a big fan either, so I tend to stay away from those. That's my only gripe with them really, the more Japanese orientated bridge choices, but it's hardly surprising because, like I say, these guitars are engineered for the Japanese market, which is the main reason you won't find many of them in the West. They're produced for the Japanese market, and the only way they seem to get over here is in small batches if they want to sell some over here. I think most of them usually go to the US. There are very few European stores that I've come across that will stock them. And there's one German, quite a large German store that I've come across that did have this one in stock. But they're difficult to get hold of. But if you can get one, I definitely recommend it because they're the best playing guitars I've ever played by a country mile. Obviously discounting any custom builds, because these, as much as they're called J Customs, they're not really customs in the sense that many people think, you know, you pick the specs and choose what you want. They're customs in that they're custom built by the elite luthiers in the Ibanez factory, but you know, discounting true custom builders like Demon S, you know, the bespoke builders, from kind of production guitars, this is the best I've played, full stop. And I only discount the custom guitar world because I just haven't played enough of them. In fact, I don't think I've played a single custom guitar. I do actually have a Demon S build which is on order, so in a year or so I'll be able to do a comparison of that kind. But even then, you know, how useful would that be? I don't know. It's hard to compare something that's purely built for you compared to something that other people can get. I've been lucky enough to try quite a lot of different guitars, brands. I did a work experience in a local music shop and gigging and stuff. I played other people's instruments and I've played pretty much every brand of guitar that I can think of. I've played one of the types, and nothing has felt as comfortable to play as a J Custom. That said, a lot of people can't stand the really thin necks on them. I see many people call them shred popsicles, and they are thin. You know, if you're prone to cramp from thin necks, then, you know, don't bother, because I think these are the thinnest that I've tried. They call them J Custom Wizards, but I think they're just more similar to Super Wizards. Another thing I like about the J Customs, which I'm sure a lot of people will share, is the limited nature of them. You know, this particular natural finish here, you just can't get. You know, even in the same line of natural finish RG J Customs, of which there are quite a few, I think you can still get them. Obviously they all look completely different, you know, Mother Nature and all that. Looks pretty cool. I'll put up a few pictures of both J Customs so you can see the finish is a bit clearer. But I was talking about rarity, so I'll continue. It seems that Ibanez will make J Customs in batches from numbers as low as 8 all the way up to 100 at a time. Definitive numbers seem pretty much impossible to come by because Ibanez don't release them, but in the case of my S-Series J Custom, it was a spot production model, like I say, with a few unusual attributes like the matte finish and the bare knuckle pickups with the camo covers on, and the Wenge neck and things like that. And the estimate for the numbers of that one is between 10 and 30, but it's hard to say. Something I should remember is that both of my J Customs are pretty much brand new. They're both from the last couple of years, so they've got all the latest Ibanez build techniques in them. You know, the all-access neck joints, the is it 5-piece necks now, and these have also got it says on here KTS titanium reinforced neck, true resonant titanium reinforced neck, which is apparently improves the stability of the neck and the sustain of the instrument, stuff like that, so that's cool. And I make no apologies in saying this, but the new Ibanez, if you buy a guitar, Ibanez guitar this year, it'll be better than one from the 80s. And I know a lot of people will be sitting there with their, you know, floral gems going, but this is my favourite guitar, it sounds the best and it plays the best. And, you know, I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule for, you know, individual people with their individual guitars and the attachment they've got to them. But In terms of playability, sound quality, build quality, they've got better, and the modern guitars should be compared with other modern guitars. So I see quite a lot of people saying, well, my J Custom from 1990 isn't as good as a saw that you could get custom built today. And it's like, well, probably not, because you're comparing them across like 20 years. So that's the only other point I'd want to make. These are brand new, and as they are brand new, they benefit from all of today's precision technology and the tolerances, the very small tolerance for error that Ibanez now have.